Hello, it's Jowy here, just saying hi to you guys. Sorry I've been away for a long time, I've just been busy with life and university in general, stuff like that. So I've decided for today's video that I'm going to talk a bit about my character Jowy. So without any big introductions, I think we should get into it and let's just get on with a little talk. I'll start with the history of Jowy. Basically, he originally was called Jock. And as you can see from the original designs, as you can see for the past, that he was originally based a lot off Rayman, Rayman 1, that sort of thing. And he was very much a very bland, generic character. He still is generic today, but he was very bland, had hardly any personality or any character in him whatsoever. He didn't really have a lot in him, and this kind of just shows the process that I went through to create him. Jacques or Jowy, if you prefer, was basically a blank character I used to draw on a lot of my pictures. He was in every single scenario I did, which include fun fairs, going for walks, playing video games, a lot of things that kids do, and that's what a lot of my artwork was originally for. But Jowy went through a lot of design phases, as I never was technically ever happy with the character to begin with. So he went through a Billy and Mandy phase where I designed him to look like Billy, which I didn't want to do, which I changed to look more like Fairy Odd Parents after watching in 2006 a lot of Fairy Odd Parents and Dexter's Lab cartoons. And then very recently he went into a very American state, classic American golden age state, where he has big eyes, big hands, very cliche, kind of almost boyish hair with the spikes. So he went through a lot of design changes, Jowy, and even personality wise, because only like in the recent months have I started to give him actually some character that wasn't there to begin with. I'm going to talk to you a bit about Jowy's past now. Basically, he comes from a middle-class family. He has a sister who lives with their grandmother at the moment, because basically there's a funny story I came up with that instead of his parents abandoning him because there was some reason they had to leave, they only abandoned him because they wanted to get away from the stress of like everyday life. They basically went for a vacation for years and left him in the house by himself to grow up, which he did over time with his friend Max, who was going to be introduced in another video later on. But basically, Jowy has grown up to play video games. Has grown up to play video games. Watches TV a lot. Eats a lot of junk food. Watches a lot of late night horror movies. He basically is kind of what you consider like almost a cliche kind of generic American kid to like, as he very much has become a very American star. He's become very American in a lot of ways. But he has his own plunger gun, which he kind of uses for weapons, which he thinks he could be quite cool. He basically is the type of kid also in high school that would get wedgies every 10 minutes, have his lunch money stolen. He's kind of the loser in the school, but in a lot of sense, he has a lot more personality than when I first started out, and that's kind of the basic, that's the basic story of him. I thought I'd talk about some of the varieties that Jowy has in the ideas that I've given to him. In one of the ideas I had is he comes from a universe which is very Looney Tune-ish in the fact that it's got a lot of slapstick humour, a lot of physical things happen to the characters, there's not a lot of serious story, there's not a lot of drama. It's all about, getting through a day without being hurt or getting hit by a boulder or, an animal being chucked on you. It's that sort of Looney Tune-ish idea that I have for this version of Jowy, because as I'm going to mention in a minute, I've done about 2 different versions of him, and one's kind of a rip-off of something, but we'll get on to that in a minute. But basically, in this universe, as I said, it's kind of similar to what I said about his past. He's a junkie, he's a menace, he's kind of a mischievous character in the school. He's the one who kind of comes up with the schemes, but he's also the one that gets into trouble a lot and goes on weird adventures which he doesn't want to in the first place. And, he's just that sort of character that you'd expect to be lazy and wouldn't want to do anything with his life as he's a bachelor, as he lives with one of his mates, and he lives by himself in the house that his parents abandoned him because they went on a vacation for years and wanted to get away from it all. So that's kind of the basic idea of the kind of what I call the Looney Tune-ish idea for the Jowy cartoon. The second version is very much kind of a rip-off of Sonic, as I already mentioned. In this universe, basically Jowy again is almost the leader of freedom fighters who are trying to fight for freedom. Sounds cliche, except he's fighting 2 evil spirits from the underworld who have kind of come and corrupted the city that he lives in. And, basically, he has to try and stop them. But he doesn't have any powers like Sonic. He can't run fast as the speed of light, because then people would just say I'll be ripping off Saturday M, because I technically am with the design, if you look at him. But, this cartoon still needs a lot more development, but, I was trying, because I will admit I'm a very big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, and I've wanted to try and incorporate Sonic the Hedgehog in some way, and Saturday AM was just something that came into mind. In fact, one of the characters I'll introduce later on is very much based off one of the characters, a very well popular one too. But basically, in this universe, Jowy has a lot of responsibility on his hands, and this kind of version focuses a lot more on drama, like Saturday AM. It focuses on family, trying to find the source of problems, dealing with, you know, trials and just relations against himself, you know, dealing with his dark side, because he has a dark side in this cartoon too, which tries to take over him. In a lot of ways, you know, there's a lot of kind of things that are very similar to Saturday AM in this version, but as I said, this is kind of what I call my kind of fan-made version of him. The first one was kind of more original, but this one is kind of a bit of a cliche, but, you know, at the same time, it does have a bit of potential, but I'll talk about that idea later on. Well, there have it, folks. I've given you a little insight into Jowy and a bit about him. I'm sorry this video hasn't been the best, and, you know, I can improve on it, but next time I'll put a lot more effort in, I promise. But again, this is like the first time I've even talked about my ideas, which I said I don't usually talk about this on a DeviantArt or anything like that. I could be quite, you know, personal with sometimes what I talk about on the internet, but thank you very much for listening to me. And next time, we will be moving on to another character. I'll be interested in Max the Bean, which is a very original character, and there's a bit to talk about him. So next time, folks, thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry again if it wasn't the best, but hey, whatever.